Tune
into the Prime Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to welcome you back from Fats' 8-week vacation to the Prime Podcast. I am your host, Coast. That is your other host, Fats. And we are here to wish you a hello and a fine day.
What's going on, everybody? Peace to the primates.
Hi. How's everybody doing out there in the world?
Yeah.
What do you say? What do you do? How you doing? Where you going? Where you going? Hi. What's up, Fats?
Yo, chilling, man. What's going on, Mr. Phil? How are you?
I'm all right. I mean, I was having a little issue today with my butthole, but it's miraculously not turned around.
Would you have? You have the wetness going on?
No. You want to know what happened? I'll tell you what fucking happened. This is what happened. My wife decided that we were going to take family pictures today, right? For me, my wife, and the two children, and my sister and her husband and children. They used this photographer lady who's a very nice lady, but she lives in Bumblefuck. She lives in, I want to say Medford. Exit 65 on the LIE.
There, bro. It's out there.
Yes. So, I go through I have a routine that I do every day. I take my shits, I eat, I drink my coffee, bang, bang, boom, everything like clockwork.
Right.
But since I had to go somewhere today, it really fucked up my rhythm. I couldn't take my shit properly. As soon as I pulled up at this bitch's house, this nice young lady's house, I had to shit my fucking pants. And I am no stranger in the war of the turds. So I put that bitch back away. I said, you fucking go lay down, turd. And I put it back up into my asshole, and then I couldn't shit. Then I came home. I ate
How long was the photo shoot?
It wasn't so long. It's just the fucking place is an hour and change each way. We were taking pictures for a half hour, then I'm sitting around with my thumb up my ass in the freezing cold in this fucking... She lives in... her property's sick, bro. She's got this, like, acres of land, and then behind that is this giant open field. So, they've known her for a long time, so she does this shit right at her crib. Right. So, and then, they know each other, they're friends, they're all talking, and I'm sitting there fucking chambering this poo, and I didn't want to blow up her shit, because this was bad. I knew it was going to be bad, because I was getting little teasers, when you fart and you could get the fucking flavor. That's what was happening to me, and I was like, if I did this in her house, she's never taking another photograph again. Right. So I held it in, and then I got home, and then I got a burrito from Chipotle's. And then I just took an unsatisfying dump. Not the dump I wanted to take, but it was the dump I got. And here I am now, frustrated with my butthole. Welcome back, everybody!
Yeah, I was about to say, so we just gave these people a riveting story about your innards, but okay. So anyway, moving right along.
Motherfucker. What do you mean? You said, I'm not shy.
Moving right along. Hey, you got to explain to me more about this text that I sent you earlier today.
Which text did you send me earlier today?
The Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah. I actually listened to Joe Rogan's podcast, so I heard that clip is years old. It was on an episode a while ago with him and Ari. And but I'll watch it every time, especially with that animation. It's hilarious. But you sent it to me, and I asked my wife that same question. It was like, do you think you could fuck up 12-year-olds? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, how? She's like, well, I'll just show them my tits. I'm like, you fucking pedophile. You can't just show them.
But this is where I was lost. I was lost because I was like, how is that her fighting strategy?
Well, because I said, I'm like, it wasn't the first thing. I was like, you are the size of a fucking 12-year-old.
That's what I first thought. That's my first thought when you said that she said she could do it. But okay, go ahead. Proceed.
Yeah, she right away, she was real full of confidence. And she right away said she could do it. But then, then when I questioned her strategies, that's when she revealed that if things were to get hairy, she'd have to pull out a titty. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't think she could beat up 12-year-olds. I don't think so. I don't. It depends. Also for me, it depends how big these 12-year-olds are. Because when I was 12, I was like 5'8", 200 fucking pounds. If
Right.
I had 12 of those fucking coming at me in the shape I'm fucking currently in, I don't know.
It might
I don't know.
it might take a turn for the worse, is what you're saying.
Probably, but you want to say that you could beat up 12-year-olds. Everybody wants to say they could.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
obviously the elephant in the room
What's
is
that? What?
is the election. Ooh.
The election, huh? Here we are. We're going to start with that, probably end with that.
That's the obvious elephant in the room.
Well, what do you have to say about the election,
Well,
Mr. Fats?
here basically what I have to say about that is um based on the climate of this year,
Mm-hmm.
start to finish, this has been like a really, really, really funky year, you know?
Whew, probably the worst one to date, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure,
this
in
has
our
been
lives.
in our lives. This has
Well,
been a really
2001 was kind of funky,
yeah, 2001 was crazy, but this was like really, really crazy. Like you have to understand, they are just sidebar, they're talking about closing New York City schools again tomorrow,
I know.
right?
I can't believe it.
And I believe
Yes, I
that Long
could.
Island will soon follow.
My son is full remote for this exact reason why
Right.
I'm
But the
famous on the news 12. I
right,
don't want to be a
right.
part of this
My
experiment. Here
daughter's
we go.
full remote as well. My son is not. He's still going to pre-K every other day.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this whole COVID thing, just when you feel like you got it like under control, it's the same thing. It's just the human condition. I was telling someone that earlier. The human condition is you get once you adapt to a situation, being a part of life, that's when like the fear and everything starts to become lax. Like sheriffs have been like busting underground parties with like 200 more people at these parties. You
Oof,
know,
just folded. Is it the human condition or are the humans conditioned? Hmm.
well, but like
Hmm.
right. Remember the fear and the hysteria when it really was going, like when
Right,
no
like
one,
last March, April. Yes,
yeah,
yes, I
like the
do.
fear and hysteria. So
And
everybody was good with the shelter in place. Like, I just want to not be out and be vulnerable to it because it's so crazy right now, right?
honestly, I loved it. I loved the time I got to spend with my family. I can't. I'm actually looking forward to it. To be
Right.
honest with you,
But
I am.
but because people have been like people are searching for normalcy, and people are searching for, just trying to get back to the way their lives were. People want to go out and party, they want to go hang out, they want to be social. Human beings are social creatures.
I don't. So maybe that's why I loved it.
I mean, you have to think
I'm.
about it. We have Thanksgiving on the horizon, and do you feel like everybody is going to limit their family functions to 10 people?
Do you think that you could tell an Italian person to anything about any of this? They're like, yeah, everybody else. You go, all of you guys, you could have 8
But
people
again,
over.
that's
But
what I'm trying to say. But
no, but I think a lot of people I know feel that way. Everything applies to everybody else and not them. So
right.
I don't think we're doing anything crazy anyway, to be honest, because I don't feel like driving to my sister's house. So I'm probably just going to go to my mother in law's that's 2 blocks away. It'll just be us and her. And I love that so much.
Right. But
So
this what again, across the country though. Do you think that will be the general practice or
no, I
something
think a
else?
lot of people are going to get together with their families if it makes sense. Like we saw Amanda today, right? But
Uh-huh.
Amanda is with Mike and her kids,
Right.
and my wife and Amanda are together every single fucking day anyway. So it's like situations like that where, like, if she's around Amanda, I'm around all of them every day
Right.
because she's taking whatever she's got and we're giving whatever we got to them. So if we were exposed, we're not re-exposing anybody we're not currently exposed to.
Right.
Same with my mother-in-law. I see her every other fucking day. So it's like if the situation is like that, I don't think it like should matter if there's more than 10 people or 8 people, whatever. What is it, 10 or 8?
10.
So if these are 10 people that you're constantly exposed to day in and day out anyway, then the rule is fucking stupid.
Right.
That's how I feel. It's like, so
Well,
what are we
I
just
just
playing a
feel
game
I
here?
just feel that Thanksgiving is such a a social holiday. It's such a social time. It's a time of gathering. It's a family time of gathering to have a big
Yeah.
feast, to break bread together. And there's a lot and it's a holiday. It's definitely a holiday that is very steeped in tradition, you know?
All holidays are steeped in tradition.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like, like I don't know, like even in my wife's family, like there's certain things that they just do and certain dishes that they do and certain like platters that they, you know what I mean? It's like this
I
is just a
do. It's just
Thanksgiving thing, you know?
all of that shit for me has been gone for years, yo. My mother moved away. My grandparent died. We used to just go to their house every year.
Right,
That'd be it.
right,
I haven't done that shit in fucking. I mean, the way we did it since before they died. So, '08, my
right,
grandmother died a few years ago, but she lost her mind, so we didn't do it for a few years before that.
right.
But, like, I don't really have anybody but my sister here and my other sister, but we see them all the time anyway. So it's like those traditional things. It's like the biggest tradition is to eat a fucking turkey and eat like you got 17 assholes and then sit on the couch and fart. That's my tradition. You know?
So
I don't have the.
basically, just like for the original point of this year, we started off the year with Kobe Bryant's death, and then we heard about this crazy virus that was going crazy in Wuhan, China. And of course, we as Americans feeling like, oh, well, it's not over here, whatever. We went about our lives not understanding that it was on his way over here, right?
Yeah, we had no idea what was coming. We should listen to the first episode one day and like
Right.
commentate on
Yeah, like do
it.
a
We
play
had
by
no
play,
idea.
do a play by
Yeah,
play of what we were talking about, right?
yeah.
And
We'll
all
do that
and
on
all
the 1 year.
and all the Chinese food jokes and things like that and everything else like that.
I
Like,
still eat my Chinese. I had it the other day.
yeah, I get it, but
I don't give a
remember
fuck.
we we were definitely very arrogant in the way we were seeing this thing, you know.
Without a doubt.
So we shut down. When did we shut down? In March, right?
I mean, you really got the vibe toward the end of February, but it was official. I think March 13th
Yes, we
or 14th.
officially, like, it was official shelter in place order. I never forget the glimmer in my daughter's eyes when they said that school would be officially shut down.
Yeah, it's like a
Like
snow day,
you
right?
never saw like a child so happy. Like the only thing that could have like put a smile on her face bigger than that is me like unveiling a iPhone 11 Pro Max that was hers.
11. There's a 12 out now,
Yeah,
buddy.
but
You gotta step it up.
no, it wasn't
Oh,
out then.
then.
I'm talking about then. The
Yeah.
the hottest one was the 11 Pro Max. If I would have handed her I don't even think I would have got a bigger smile if I would have handed her that phone. But anyway,
Mhm.
we started to shelter in place. That's when everybody started going on this quarantine thing and everything else. And obviously, I still had to go out and work, And I remember a conversation I had with my wife. I said, "So, babe, here we can do two things, right?" I was like, "You could either stay here in the house with both of our moms, because both of our mothers are older, I should say." And I was like, "You can stay here with the kids and both of our moms, and I'll stay at my mother's house, right? Or you can stay at your mother's house, and I'll stay here at the house and hold down the fort, right?" And my wife quickly inquired if I had lost my mind or if I was taking drugs or something like that. So she said she would pass on the mother thing, and she said she would rather get what I got than to deal with them. So I was like, wow.
Oh, man. That's
So
not nice.
yeah, so we had that going on. I was still going to work and everything else like that. And then remember, this was an election year. So politics played a big, big part in
Yeah.
what was going on this whole entire year.
Oh, I'd say so.
And
Eh,
culminating with the federal election for the
Wait a second.
presidency for the presidency.
Federal election? Or I thought it was ran by the media. Anything to do with federal? What do you
I
mean?
say federal election because I mean on a federal level because again, it wasn't a local election. It wasn't just local and state.
No,
It was definitely
it was the United
it was
States
for the
presidential.
big chair. It was for the big chair,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah,
So
so
we had a few episodes where we were talking about this whole thing leading up to it and all of the mitigating factors of why people were polarizing and taking the sides that they were taking.
yeah,
And long before this election, I believe that the strategy was already in place, that these advisors had already said that the strategy would be to contest the fact that a lot of ballots would be mailed in and a lot of ballots would be cast early because of the COVID concerns.
right.
Because that sentiment was echoed very early from the GOP side,
From the conservatives,
Yeah.
from the people that aren't ridiculously uninformed. Yes.
Well, whatever. I mean, but that was something that was voiced early on, and I figured that was going to play a major part into what's going on right now, the drama, the soap opera drama that's going on right now. So one thing I will say is that if I can credit our current president, I can say that this time, his term has brought out the largest number of voters in the history of the election to go for either
Crazy.
side. That
Crazy.
is that. If I can put something in a feather in his cap of his legacy, I can say that the man
Can I ask you
brought the voters out.
Why do you think that is?
Uh-huh.
Why do you think that is?
He's a polarizing figure both ways. Very
Hmm.
polarizing figure. Well, you have to also understand. Here's another thing. Here's another thing as well, and this is something that I neglected to touch on in all of the times that I was even talking about President Trump. President Trump was already like a pop culture figure, whereas,
Icon.
yeah, well, a figure, icon, whatever you want to call him. He was already somebody that was thoroughly entrenched in pop culture. He was somebody whose name was a household name. Like there's little possibility that you could be living in this country for a set amount of years and not know who Donald Trump was, right?
That's a fact.
So, with that being said, he's brought that pop culture popularity into the political forum. Now, most people, because this is where we get like the arguments that I always hear people talk about Joe Biden and the crime bill and Kamala Harris and her time as attorney general and everything else like that, right? The thing the thing about it is that most politicians, unless you're a person who studies politics you're an avid study of politics, you won't really know who that person is until that person's name is out there. Whereas a lot of people knew who Donald Trump was for a long, long time. So it was easy for the people that sided with him and have become diehard supporters of him. It's easy for them to hold on to him because they have a long list of reference of
So
sound bites and things that he's done, things that he's not done. It's a more of an acquaintance with him than it is with
it's
somebody else.
basically like name recognition is what got him in there. You think?
I'm not saying that's what got him in there. What I'm saying is what got him in there. To be honest, what got him in there was hatred for Hillary.
I think what got him, really got him voted in. Yes, is just hatred for corruption in politics.
Right, absolutely. But that's what people latched. It was like a trifecta because people looked at this guy as a successful businessman, right? He's a successful businessman who's not a a typical politician. He's a person who, like, they felt, and this is where I said that whole leadership boss thing. Like, Donald Trump's a boss, so they felt like, all right, if this guy can run corporations, right, and run different business entities, then why not be able to run the country? But
Absolutely, yeah.
the whole the whole point is, from a business standpoint and a person with money, that makes a ton of sense. A ton. If you're looking at it purely from a numbers crunching situation. But when you start to talk about the other intangibles of what it takes to be in office, then that's when it's like it becomes dicey. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure. A dicey in the sense,
Like I
can
said,
you
like I
describe
said,
the diciness?
like I said, you've said it. The guy, you've said it. The guy's he's smooth as a sheet of sandpaper. You
Yeah,
know,
he doesn't talk to people the way they want to be spoken to.
right?
That's a big thing for a lot of people,
Listen, a very a very big human condition is resentment. Okay, and when
Yeah.
people take offense, offense usually leads to resentment, right?
Hmm.
So, in that way, the politically correct thing to do would be to try to endear yourself to people and not offend and cause resentment, especially when you're in the big seat. You understand what I'm
I
saying?
got you.
And again, I'm not a big Andrew Cuomo guy. I'm not the oh my god, let me bang the drum for Andrew Cuomo. That's not me. So let's first get that clear. But he is the governor of New York State, and during the whole COVID uh, crisis, New York State at one point was the hot spot of not only the United States but the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were like, you remember that time when it was really, really scary in New York State? Like,
It felt like it, yeah.
yeah, it was like the numbers were out of control and everything else like that. And what I can say is the daily press conferences with this guy, with when he was on like a national stage and people were watching this guy speak every day, and the things that he was trying to do and the things that they were trying to coordinate and trying to, like, get more hospital beds, get more PPE, get more ventilators and everything else like that. And the thing about it is the way he was speaking endeared himself to the people,
Yeah, let
because
me ask you a
he
question
was
though.
trying he was trying to say the right things. Not saying that he was the savior and everything else, but he was trying to say the right things at the right time to keep people calm.
Let me ask you a hypothetical question.
Okay.
If uh if everything that they told you
Uh-huh.
was bullshit,
Hmm.
would those terms of endearment make a fucking shred of difference? Or would you be filled with such fucking passionate hate for this man that you absolutely couldn't stomach the sight of him anymore?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean,
Well, here's the other thing though. Here's the other thing. On the flip side, on the flip side, you
oh,
had the president, who is in effect this guy's boss, right? Who is downplaying the situation, right? Who is refusing to wear a mask, right?
and then
Who
look
is
at it. His fat, ogre, old ass caught it and shook it in fucking 3 days.
the but that's not, what about the people that lost people, man?
I mean, I get it. I'm not trying to minimize that. I understand that this is a serious, health issue for a certain element of people that get it, whether it be underlying health conditions or
Listen, the
just
singer,
whatever.
the singer Jeremiah, young kid, he's on a ventilator right now because he has COVID.
Yeah, no, it's a real. I know that COVID's a real thing. I'm not sitting here trying to fucking act like it's a conspiracy theory, but I just feel like I feel more like what the fuckish about the whole thing. Like there's got to be like, when I think about it, I don't want it. I don't want anybody I know to have it. I want everybody to do well and be healthy. But what are the factors that contribute to some shit like that? Look, Jeremiah, young dude with a fucking six pack, is on a ventilator.
Right.
Trump, 74 years old, high blood pressure, diabetes, fat as a fucking house. 3 days later, boom, great. There's something there?
You just told me though, if you believe everything, there's certain things you're supposed to question. So what about when people question the fact of, did this guy really even have it?
It never even crossed my mind. I mean, sure, that could be the reason why it didn't affect him, because he didn't have it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
The main thing is this. The main thing is this. Even after this whole election thing, right? Let's just say, let's be hypothetical as well. Let's say hypothetically they do find that there was discrepancies in the counting of the votes and everything else like that. But right now as it stands, Joe Biden is the president elect, right?
According to the media, yes.
Okay, but as it stands, the guy is the president elect, right? Other world leaders are calling to congratulate this guy. This guy is supposed to be moving forward to try. And now this is the funny thing, is my whole thing in this is, no matter what you feel about the situation, it's the same thing I said when Trump won. When Trump got in 2016, and people were belly aching about Hillary won the popular vote, but Trump won the electoral college, and all of this and all this other BS. And I'm like, but don't you remember in when Bush got in, the same thing. Al Gore won the popular vote. Bush won the electoral college. It's just the way it goes. You don't cry over spilled milk. It is what it is. You can't cry. If you lost, you lost. It is what it is.
See, this is the one thing I just have to say about that. I don't want to give anybody the impression that I'm I give a fuck, if I'm I would cry over the spilled milk.
Right.
My whole contingency about what's happening right now is this. You know me. I'm going to make it happen regardless. I don't give a fuck what you put me up against. I'm going to figure out the situation and get to the money. Mm-hmm. I'll never look back at who the fuck is the president. Doesn't matter which one of them is there. I'm going to still do me. But this is the problem I have with the situation, the way it is right now. Mm-hmm. I have no problem with Biden winning. If he won a fair one, right? God bless him. I hope he does the best job. I hope he does all the best things that he said he's going to do for the people, and it's going to be wonderful. Because who could be mad at that? If he's doing good things for people, even if it's not the guy that I voted for or I wanted to be president for whatever those reasons were, right, at least he's doing his part to help people. That's great, right? Right. We could agree on that, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't want to live in a fucking country where the election is rigged. That don't feel good to me. Even if it was my guy, I would still feel shitty about that.
Right.
I don't want nothing that I didn't deserve. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And one of the biggest reasons why I wanted Trump to be president is because of that reason. Because why do you think they haven't formally announced the winner of the presidency correctly through the ways they've done for hundreds of years, or I don't know how many exact years, but there's a process to the way this announcement is made, right? Why do you think they haven't announced that person yet?
So basically, you feel like the judges in the courts that are saying that it's the claims are baseless, they're controlled by the media as well?
I think that the media is telling you that there are facets of the government that are saying these claims are baseless, but I also have done the due diligence on my own and sourced this information through other places that are impartial, and they are not baseless. This information is readily available.
What makes this situation not baseless? Tell me.
I mean, I know it's hard to listen to anything that Trump's lawyer will say because he's Trump's lawyer, but they where, you know, they have sworn testimony of people that were in these rooms. They have basically the system that counts the votes, Dominion, is like there's this whole conspiracy theory. It sounds crazy when you say it and all this shit, but the votes for Trump, I believe it was in Georgia, they went to bed, they woke up, and then between the hours of 3 a.m. and fucking like 4 a.m., 200,000 votes for Biden came in without a single vote for Trump. Do you realize how far-fetched statistically that is to have happened without some form of fuckery happening? And then they uncovered the fuckery.
Okay.
There's a problem with that, dude. There's a problem. There's a problem with people. I understand it's a lot of people's guy, but that fair one shit is like, if they'll do that on that grand of a scale, what won't they fucking do to get what they want?
Well, who's they?
The fucking left.
Oh.
The people, obviously now, you know, the majority of politicians are not for Trump. The left has been really fucking upset about having him in office because all they've done is try to get him out. No.
Okay. Right.
So
yeah, he was impeached. He was.
Right. Like, so, like, you know, to take it to the point that they're taking you to, and now to confront people with this information, and you're right, there are factions of the court systems that they present this information to that are also left, that are like, nah, we don't see that.
Okay.
It doesn't stop the information from existing. It happened. It's happening.
So,
and
so basically, what I'm hearing from a lot of from the right is the right wants fairness, is what they
just to straight up, like the comment you made before about how the most votes ever, right?
Right.
The majority of them at the polls were for Trump.
Oh,
because those are hard to rig.
Okay.
You know, I mean, and a lot of people make the assertion that, oh, it's because Trump told his voting base to go out and vote in person. Because, like you also said before, this mail-in ballot shit was anticipated to be bullshit because it's
that was the call early on.
Well, yeah, because obvious fucking reasons, like they found videos of them fucking pulling out thousands. They do the vote, count how many votes they need, then mysteriously come back with the amount of votes while not letting a Republican oversee.
A lot of those videos and things online that people have been showing have been debunked.
Nah, the video, I'm not even talking about.
They show people burning ballots, and those were sample ballots.
No, that's cool. I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about just facts based off of. And Giuliani, when he talked about this, he didn't even touch all that shit that's easily debunked about that. It's just straight facts that had to do with this Dominion voting system, that these votes are tallied in Venezuela and they'll get the count of the votes and they get the count that they need to offset the number. And a lot of the shit that happened was statistically impossible. And then it happened through.
So you're saying that happened widespread in every state, is what you're saying?
No, but it happened mostly in the key states that are needed to decide these votes.
So basically, what Trump supporters are telling me, right, is this: what Trump supporters and what the right is telling me is they had a forecast plan that in these key swing states they were going to do all of the chicanery. They had them all picked out.
They had the allegation is that they have a system in place that allowed them to do exactly what happened, and that's what they did.
So you're saying that they coordinated efforts state by state to do this?
Yes, that's the allegation. I wasn't there. I'm going off of, again, Donald Trump's lawyer.
Does that not sound crazy?
No, it doesn't. When you consider the fact that, like, everybody, and this, in fact, also, this is not like me having feelings about it. Like the deniability, the people that are in denial on the left, dude, if it was straightforward, they would have called the election on election night the way they've done for the last fucking, as long as you've been alive.
Yeah, but Biden was in the lead on election night.
Biden was not in the lead when we went to sleep in terms of percentage rates, when you tally the amount of votes Biden had compared to his base, based on the amount of votes Biden needed to win the full election, he was not in
I'm talking
a
about
place.
the electoral college, the electoral votes.
I'm not talking about what they told you on TV. I'm talking about in the actual polls that we don't have access to, that are ran that
Yeah,
only
but
key insiders.
how am I supposed to go off of that when
I know, and that's why I don't. I'm not blaming anybody
No,
for feeling
but
like
hold
their
on.
guy won.
Even,
Nobody knows.
all right. So even here's another question. Fox News, right, has been this guy's base
Bro,
since.
Fox News has been leaning to the left for the last 6
How
months.
so?
Mark my words, bro. Fox News is going left.
Okay, but
I know they have Republicans on there.
For the last. So then let's say this for the last 3.5 years, right?
Yeah, I
Fox
understand.
News.
Fox News was one of the only news networks that were in support more of giving Trump a chance more than anybody. I'll agree to that wholeheartedly.
So here's my thing. If we're saying that there's some people, some invisible people pulling the strings, let's just say that. Let's say there's invisible people pulling the strings, right? And these people are saying, "Yo, listen, we want things to go left. We're sick of the right. We're sick of who they got in there and everything else like that. We're trying to go left." Then what are we saying here? Obviously,
Well,
the flames of the country was pushed to the right in 2016. Hillary was not the candidate that people wanted that whoever the powers that be.
They tried. They fucked up. They underestimated him. That's what happened.
How so?
Because he's not like you said before. He's not a fucking politician.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a name, but he was Hillary and the Democrats when they chose to put Hillary up front, right?
Right.
That was a fucking smash for Democrats because the Democrats like Clinton, right? So when you take one of the most powerful fucking Democrats to have ever existed,
right,
and you put him up against that fucking lineup, name to me another substantial Democrat that was running for president in 2016, right off the top of your head.
What do you mean? Bernie?
Who else? What?
Bernie?
Bernie is not a fucking is a fucking he's more of a socialist than a Democrat.
Yeah, but he was running Democrat.
I understand that. Do you think Democrats would rather stand behind Bernie or Clinton?
But
there's a reason why
you just said name your prominent Democrat.
I understand, and that was my point. That's the point. The point is that Bernie would have ran as a Democrat, but he never would have won to be president as a Democrat. With Hillary Clinton also wanting the seat, they're not going to seat Bernie for the election when they have Clinton. Because if you put Bernie up against Trump, he wasn't going to win. They knew that would have been a little bit more of a problem than Clinton against Trump. No? So Clinton, they would have done, basically all I'm trying to say is they would have done what they did now in 2016 had they have taken better heed to what they didn't expect. They didn't expect normal people to not want a Democratic president. They didn't expect normal people to go out and vote for Trump the way they did. And they almost got it. When you look back at it, it was close. Mm-hmm. But they didn't plan for the fact that, even like they said that this election year was the voter turnout was more than ever before, only second to then.
Right.
You understand? So that's the major factor they couldn't negotiate with, and it happened.
Right.
So now, this was a little different, and the way this is happening is just, to me, it's like I'm not sour fucking milk and spilled milk, and it's frustrating to know that this is the country we live in, and that if the allegations are true, if that's something that they're willing to do, am I surprised by it? I'm not surprised. Do I, is it going to fucking ruin my life for the next 4 to 8 years? Not at all. I don't care. It further proves, how we used to feel back when we were running around with a little fucking guy with a silly hat on and a mustache, and we were fighting for something. I don't have that fight in me anymore for this reason. It is what it is, bro. It is what it will be. It's never going to fucking change. And you could quote me saying that since we started this shit. It just feels like shit to know that our children
Right.
are going to have these decisions made for them by people that are just completely dishonest.
Let's here's I, here's where I just like people lose me. Everybody says, "Oh, the media is telling you this, and the media is telling you that." You got Mitch McConnell saying what he's saying. You got Barr saying what he's saying. You got
Pompeo saying there's going to be a fucking I'm ready for a transition to power to a second Trump administration.
right.
What is Pompeo's position? He's the Secretary of the fucking state.
Okay, but here's my
To
thing.
make a statement like that to the American people, you got to have some kind of confidence, or like, are you just saying that to fuck with people's heads? Like,
Uh,
I mean,
to be honest, right? Here's my point, right?
yeah.
The point being, the best thing about this whole situation is this is the quietest that this dude has been in his whole presidency. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if there's nothing that dude is, it's tactical, dude. You know,
Yeah,
he knows when to
tactical.
shut. He knows when to shut the fuck up as much as he knows when to run his stupid mouth.
Yeah, well, see, here's my thing about that. Uh, with all of this being said, if it's not something that's definitive, and even if they feel like they have all of this evidence, what are they actually waiting for?
Because there's a legitimate process that occurs during a vote, and certain things have to occur, and then you throw in this monkey wrench of the fact that these mail-in ballots were at the numbers that they're at, and on each individual state level, and now we can narrow that down to just the key states.
Right.
There's been people that decided that they were going to stop the way constitutionally how it's been done forever, and that they were going to on the fly make amendments to the way that was written into that constitution of the state and the United States. And that's where there's a clear objection between what's happening and what happened and what's fair and balanced. And they can't, a lot, like I said, a lot of these judges and people in these positions are Democrats, but there's still people that are in there that can't, obviously they just can't sit there and go against what's in the Constitution, because there's other people around that are going to look at them like, yo, we can't do that. Because why do you think Trump is fighting this the way he is?
Okay, but they're saying that Georgia's almost finished with the recount, and it's like little to no change.
They're saying everything. I can't. If you turn on the news, your fucking head will spin. I can't look at that shit at all. I don't want to look at the news. I don't want to look at the internet, because all that does is take whoever's, you watch it from your perspective where you got your guy, and the guys on the other side look at it for their guy. And to me, at the end of the day, all it is it's the best show on earth for people that are into it. What happened on this episode of the election? Let's check it out.
Right.
Let's fight with everybody we know.
Right.
To me, I'm like, I have to be completely impartial to it, because until they formally stand before the United States of America, and when I say they, I don't mean CNN, CBS, NBC, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, or any of these fucking people.
Right.
I mean they, the United States of America, delivering that message to the people through the way that they have always done it for all of these years. I am tuned out until that happens, because I do not believe the media for anything anymore.
So now, hold on. This is where I really like. It really gets dicey. So now, if it goes right versus left, they're not leaving. They're not giving up the power and everything.
No, that ain't gonna happen. I'm telling you right now, it won't happen.
Then what happens? Why you saying
it's not going to happen? Because on the inauguration date, actually, I believe December 14th is the day we'll actually have a real decision.
Right.
But on the day, like, we're not there yet. People like to say this. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I don't know exactly, the legal limitations of how long this could be held up for, because this is literally unprecedented. It's never happened.
Right.
It's a fucking anomaly. It's never happened like this before. Right. So I don't know what's going to happen within the systems of all of these courts and all of these processes. Now you have all of these states where all of this stuff is alleged, and now they have to look at it like this. Okay, say they do have proof of 200,000 plus votes that came in such and such a state, would that 200,000 votes have impacted the decision of what would have happened there? And then is it worth it to fucking actually impede what's happening here with a court process? Right. So they have to look at it individually, state by state, and determine now the exact same scenario. Right. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I believe from everything I've read that by December 14th is when we'll have a more affirmative decision about what's going to happen. So people can't say that come inauguration, was it January 20th?
Right.
They can't say that there's not going to be a peaceful, transfer of power, because we're not there yet. And I don't believe, I believe that, obviously Trump is a fucking, he's really pushing for this because he believes strongly that he was fucked out of the election. And I know a lot of people feel that same way, but I don't believe that, once it comes to the end of the line, that he's going to just close the doors and lock everything and be like, I'm not leaving. Because then what? Okay, what is it about the House? Like the White House, a victim? Like, what the fuck? He's not going to be able to do anything anymore. Like as far as politics are concerned, if he's, if they give it to Biden actually won. What he's not leaving in the sense that he won't leave the White House, or if he won't give up power, because it's really not his decision at that point.
But here's this is what I'm saying. Leading up to this December 14th situation, you have to understand, even in 30 days, today's the 15th, so let's say in 29 days, right? Even in that 29 days, the country is divided.
I know, that's the worst fucking part, dude.
That's the worst part, dude. Like, this
is but have the country not been divided this whole fucking time? I want this to be over.
But what I'm saying is, this is when you're talking about a transfer of power. This is what people, and then it's not just the politicians. It's the local yokels that are sitting home with 1,000 rounds talking about, I'm going to take up arms and defend Trump's honor.
I mean, facts. Listen, bro, we've been talking about the local yokels this whole fucking time. Do we have any control over them?
No.
I look at it like this. Over the weekend, I believe it was Saturday, the Million MAGA March.
Right.
They went into the fucking D.C. and were assaulted by the left. So what local yokels, bro? This is the thing that everybody's saying. I know that there is these outliers of people on the right that are obviously racist, and they act out toward the other side, but that's not the majority, dude. The majority of the fucking right conservatives are, people that only give a fuck about just, the economy and want to see things not be this way, where it's extreme, just anarchy in fucking politics, where you look at the left with Antifa and, everybody doing these peaceful protests that end up fucking on fire.
Okay, but then when people say the left, now you start to bring in LGBT, you start to bring in Black Lives Matter and all of that stuff into all, and saying that these are the people that
if they identify as the left, do they?
Huh?
Do they all identify as Democrats?
I'm not saying that they all identify as Democrat, but what I'm saying is there's a large majority of these people that support the left.
Okay, then the radical left. We'll call the left and the radical left.
And then there's a radical right too. There's the alt-right as well.
Of course there is. But the majority of the people that I'm referring to.
Say that though.
Yes, you can, because when you look at the situation that happened in D.C., when you have all these people show up,
what about the rallies with people driving cars through people and killing people at these right-wing rallies?
That's because the left and the right came together, and then there's a problem.
Well, there's your problem right there, my friend. I've been saying this from the get. If you have a person in there that's trying to be a leader, that's trying to say, listen, this is my position, but I'm trying to reach over to the other side to calm the thing, because
we don't have that though.
What is the first letter in this country? It's U. What does U stand for?
United. We don't have a united fucking country.
So then
it's divided.
So we should rename the country the Divided States of America?
At this point, that's the best description of it. But when you look at it for what it is,
right,
it's divided. You're right. You're 100% right. But why is that?
It's that because you have a person in office who is not a leader, A, who is very narcissistic, B, who is a person who this whole thing to me is like it's a lack of leadership because he's not even coming to the
All
country and
right.
saying, "Listen,
So
we feel that we've been wronged, so we are exhausting our legal right to go for recounts to make sure
that's
that
literally what he said.
yeah,
But the
not,
we that he described was
it's
not
not
the people that
he's what I'm saying is I've been saying it is like you keep forgetting you are who you are, but there are people who think differently than you. There are people
I
that
know that,
feel
but
differently than
the majority of the people,
no, but you can't
A,
say majority of people. Majority of people are
uh,
not separating emotion from this thing.
I know
Emotion
that.
is
But
very
listen, dude, this is what I'm going to say to you. Everybody I know that feels the way you do
right.
is emotionally driven by the situation.
Okay.
So
So therefore, if you have people that are emotionally driven by the situation, and you're getting up, basically, like thumbing your nose in the face of people's emotions, then why should people want you to be in there anyway?
they shouldn't. If that's how they feel, they shouldn't. But this is not about making people feel a certain way. I know you feel
It
like it
most
should
certainly
be.
is, man. It
It
most
is.
certainly
It should. In a perfect world, it should be. But it doesn't solve the problem of what's actually happening. Because let me ask you this:
uh-huh.
Biden's president.
Uh-huh.
6 months later, we'll give you 6 months. All of this bullshit goes away.
I never said that.
No, no. But this is the left, and the way that these people think on the left. They want to fucking punish. They want to punish the right for what's happening the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Like the way they talk about it on the news, which is heavily left leaning. No, they
Right.
talk about it about how are we gonna make these lists to make sure that people that worked or supported the Trump agents administration never work again. Never when they go to find new jobs, make sure that they never work again. What the
That's
fuck does
not
that do?
that's not my position.
I know that's not your position, but you're not the majority of people.
What
You're
do
not the majority of like the feeling that you have because when you look at the way you live your life, you don't live your life like that. You make an honest living,
right?
and you go out there and you do you. Most of these. That's why I never understood your politics because you lean more right than left, and you will admit that you are more conservative than not.
Right.
So but when you think about the situation about you know I get where you're coming from 100%. The president of the United States should put people at ease,
Right.
right?
Right.
This guy, he don't do that.
Right.
But when you consider what's going to happen and the lengths that people are willing to go to make it happen,
Right.
that's concerning to me. It will be always concerning to me. Not to the point where it's like I know people that we know when they talk about it, it angers them.
Right.
It doesn't anger me. It concerns me more than anything because I have a fucking 2-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son that God willing will outlive both of us by many, many years and they'll be on their own someday.
Right.
And is that world going to be every fucking November through June? We take a hiatus. We stop earning. We lock ourselves in the house because the big guy said so. Do you want that for your kids? Do you remember what it was like when we grew up?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. What I'm the way that I look at it, and this is my point. I don't. This guy never got my trust. I don't trust him as the leader of this country.
I don't trust anybody as anybody.
But again, you still have to cast your vote. And my
You
my
do.
my situation is this: I'm not saying that I'm head over heels in love with Biden and Harris, but I just know that I don't love Trump and Pence.
Okay. I mean, listen, bro. I'm not the guy that's going to talk you out of it. What
I'm
I'm
just
saying is,
what I'm trying to say is that's where my politics lay. Like I told you, we've had conversations in private. You and I both know a lot more about each other than the world knows about each other about us. And of course, you do know a lot about the way I see things and the way I move and everything else like that. I move very, very much more conservative than the average liberal. You know what I'm saying?
it's not even about your politics, just the way you live your life.
Right.
Like, it works for you.
Right.
That's
But there's also other dynamics at play.
there's also an emotional responsibility to the
You know what the
people
funny
that
part about it is? You know what the funny part about it is? Like you brought up when we used to be on tour and the whole Rebel Army thing and the whole following tech around and everything else like that. And we were reeling against basically
Republicans,
the GOP, right? Reeling
right?
against the GOP, reeling against the right. We were saying F the government and all of this other stuff. But even then, George W. was more eloquent as a leader than this guy is.
Well, he was also dumber than a bag of rocks.
Of
So
course, but
the
still,
damage he was capable of doing,
he
which
was
he still
still
managed to do,
he was still more believable as the commander in chief than this guy right here.
that statement right there sums up the entire debate of what we're talking about.
That's my
I
point.
don't give a fuck. You could shine up a turd, tell me it's not a turd. I don't give a fuck about how I believe in something or not. It's the stone cold facts that I will bring into play. Because I mean, I can make you believe I got a 14-inch cock and lay down with you, and I can't even fucking it don't reach my belly button. So you know what I mean? Like
That's my point. That's what politics is. See, George
I
W.
know
was a career politician, so he
that's the
looked
one thing Donald Trump
way
is not.
more presidential than Donald.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like that's the whole thing here, Fats. I
Right,
don't want a fucking politician.
right.
I don't want the mint on my pillow, rub my back, fuck me in the ass. I don't want that.
But that's the point being is there are a lot of people in the United States that do.
I'm sorry. I guess you got to get fucked in the ass a few times before you realize
You
you
know, I
either
wouldn't
like
say
it
it
or
like
don't.
that. I wouldn't say it like that, but I'm just saying the guy is just not he's not presidential. He's a leader.
Who gives a
And
fuck?
see,
If
here's
he's
my
president,
and when he won and people were protesting, I was against that. I told you that.
of course,
I
just the
was
same
against
way I'd be against the right protesting Biden. If you win a fair one, you fucking won.
right.
Hold
So,
that
so
down.
all right. So on let's say on December 14th, it comes out Biden won, everything else like that. And people are still belly aching about it. Then what? What are you gonna say?
I'm just gonna say everything I said to you. It is what it is, bro.
All right.
Yeah, like there's certain people that live for this shit. Whether they tell you they want it to be fair and balanced,
Right.
they live for drama.
Right.
I am not the guy.
This is
Listen to me. Like,
this thing is filled with that. You know?
absolutely, and that's why I can't tune into the saga that continues daily on your nightly news and on your Facebook statuses and on everything you see on TV.
Right.
I can't. I mean, I'll pop in. You know, I'll stick my head in the room and see what what's the temperature, what's it feeling like, and then I'll
Right.
pop back out and just feel like, oh, this shit is getting deep.
But see, it's the same thing how we felt about the whole COVID thing. You didn't even want to turn the TV on with the whole COVID thing.
It got to the
But
point
now,
where
but now you even have people saying that COVID is a conspiracy as well, that the numbers are
it's
inflated.
not.
This is
I
my
just
point.
don't.
This is my point.
This is the main thing with the COVID shit, bro. It's like this. Okay, there's 200 new COVID cases today. How many of them are people that are on their deathbed? That's the thing. And that's why I don't respect the media. I respect your reporting of it, right? I respect the fact that you're telling people there's 200 new cases. You
Right.
should be aware because you don't know how it's going to affect you.
Right.
I don't respect the fact that when the news media reports this news to
Right.
the people, they do it in a way that makes people fearful of their fucking life.
Right.
They're not that when they tell you 200,000 cases, not all 200 fucking thousand of these people are going to be on their deathbed dying. When you look at the fucking rate of people that survive and people that get over it and people that have very minimal effects of this fucking virus, it is way different than the fucking number they project on the screen. And
Right.
that's what I don't like. It's the misinformation that changes the way that people go out and live their fucking life. And they're ruining people's fucking lives. They're ruining the economy. They're ruining the way we do business. They're ruining the way we hang out with people. They're ruining the way we get our fucking dick sucked. Like, dude, this is
Well, who is they? This is what I'm saying.
the media is who is they. The media is who told you that Biden won. The media is who tells you that you're going to catch coronavirus. The
Right.
media is who tells you that the economy is down and makes you scared to spend money. The media are the ones that tell you to buy, sell, fucking steal. They are the people that control the way most people think. Maybe not you, Maybe you have a little bit more of a brain in your head, but most people. And the media is not limited to what's on your TV. It's not limited to what's on your fucking phone. It's people could walk up to you in the street and fucking parakeet some shit in your ear that they saw on the news. Then you walk away from that conversation feeling the way you do when you don't even feel like that.
Right.
That's the problem. That's the biggest problem I have with all of this shit. It's taking people out of themselves and making them fucking think for someone else. Just like you said.
When we shut down before and you were very fearful, you saying that fear was baseless because of the media?
No, I'm not saying that it's baseless. I'm still fearful for me, for my mom, for my dad, for everybody, because this virus there is a legitimate coronavirus that people have perished from, right?
Right.
Legitimate. And
right.
Now I have fucking health conditions. You have health conditions. My mom, my dad, people that they tell you have conditions that will lead them to be more susceptible to having fatal results of taking this virus in and trying to fight it.
Right.
That's the shit that you get fearful of because they tell you, they project 200,000. When your mind reads 200,000 cases a day, do you see 200,000 people having a nice dinner and getting their fucking beans licked by their wife? Or do you see 200,000 people in a fucking deathbed on a ventilator?
Right.
I want to be optimistic that should anybody I know or myself contract this, that I'll be able to fight it. I do. I want to have that hope. I want everybody to have that hope.
Right.
But when you watch it and you hear it, it's not the hope that you're going to receive.
So then when they saying that they're going to roll out this, Pfizer's about to roll out this 90%, it's a vaccine that's 90% capable of preventing it. What do you think that people should do? You think people should take it?
I think people should.
Are you an anti-vaxxer?
I wouldn't describe myself as an anti-vaxxer, but I'm certainly not an experimental kind of guy. And right. If people at their free will decide that they would like to try this, by all means, I want people to have the right to do whatever the fuck they want. That's my whole shit in life.
But here's
Will I do it?
Will you do it?
No. Because I'm skeptical of everything. I'm skeptical of a fucking rock in the road. I'm of a bird in the sky. I'm not the guy that's going to try this. Hell no. You know me better than that. I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
So you want to see the numbers first?
Yeah, numbers don't fucking lie, bro. Okay. Numbers will not ever lie.
But you don't trust the media. So if the media reports that the numbers are,
you got to find your own. You got to try to find your own source on numbers, and that's you're right, 100%. But the FDC, what is it? The FDC, right? The Federal Commission, whatever the fuck it's called, that deals with drugs. Yeah. I also am very skeptical of them, but I'll look at the numbers, and if shit, the shit could get completely out of fucking hand, where it seems like if it's you're gonna die or you're gonna try, I'll try, but we're not there yet. Right. We're not fucking there yet, guy. Well, we're not there yet.
I'm saying this. That's another sticking point where it's like the anti-vaxxers are out there telling people, "Don't take it, don't take it, don't take it." Right?
Facts. Power and pressure are products of numbers.
Yeah, of course.
End of the day. At the end of the day, as you like to say.
Yes, that's one of my catchphrases.
That's what it is. Remember that. Remember I told you. Power and pressure. Okay. And they are products of numbers.
So yeah, it's been good to have a nice riveting conversation. You were very passionate in your argument for old Donnie Boy. And
it's not for Donnie Boy. I wish one day you will understand where I'm coming from.
I do.
This is so much less about Donnie.
Listen. It's ironic that Americans are saying that the election was stolen and corruption.
I'm not even saying that. I'm not saying that.
Listen, our founding fathers were all outcasts, thieves, and dregs of society. Okay? So deep within the fabric and the soul of America is corruption.
Let's keep it going and let's corrupt this motherfucker to the end. Light this bitch on fire.
Let's just say this.
If
let's
that's
just
the
say this:
sentiment,
even if there is a they that are pulling strings and trying to corrupt things and trying to take away, then let's just look at it as that is the American way. You know what I'm
power
saying?
and pressure.
There you go.
Remember that. Okay, it is
Well,
what it
we're
is, bro.
we're at an hour and 11. We had a nice riveting conversation,
We're really at
and
like an hour and 5 because we had to do that wonderful drop that everybody will be hearing of you, the man himself, your son, letting
that's
these
right. That's
motherfuckers
right.
know.
That's right.
So we're good. We're good on time. We're good on. I think this is a good podcast. Welcome back to the motherfucking shit show.
That's
I
right.
hope to one day be able to move away from politics because I'm not this guy. I'm
we
really
wanna
not.
we wanna move away and just start having fun and silly
I just like
conversation.
I like having fun, man. I think people like me better having fun. I know there'll be an element of people that enjoy to hear me talk like this, but
Yeah, well,
I
it,
don't.
it is, to be honest, it is the elephant in the room. It is a lot of things going on, but this is the definite topic of the day, and we have to cover it. We have to talk about it. And
Absolutely.
you know,
People are looking at us for their news.
that's right.
I like that. We got to talk about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude episode 32 of the Prime Podcast. And we thank you. We thank you very much. I hope you missed us. I hope you fucked with it. I'm going to try to get clips out there. You know what I'm
ASAP,
saying?
ASAP.
Well, I need your camera then ASAP.
All right then. Peace.
All right. Peace out, man.
Tune into the Prime Podcast.
Tune into the Prime Podcast.
Now do it a little bit more upbeat, but take your time.
Tune into the Prime Podcast.